Shalom, shalom. I want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, this brother Aliyah, brother you right? And New One Congregation of Israel. So we're going to hop into it, right? Did you complete this task today, right? Did you complete this task? So we're going to start out going into the definition of the word task first and foremost, right? All right, and Shabbat Shalom to everyone out there. So let's go into this word task, right? Let me see if I can share my screen. So the word task, let's go to it. Just look at it right here. All right, it says a piece of work to be done or undertaken, job, duty, chore, charge, labor, assignment, right? So we got an assignment, right, that Lord has issued to us as so-called Black Hispanic American. As Israelites, we have an assignment, we have a job, we have a charge, right? We have an occupation, we have a responsibility, right? All these things fall into the similar words of task, right? So let's go into our responsibility, our assignment, our charge. All right, let's get it through the scriptures, right? Go to the book of Deuteronomy. And we're going to find out what our assignment is, find out what our charge is that Lord gave to us as a people. All right. So we go Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12, right? It says, and now Israel, speaking to the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? What doth the Lord thy God require, right? So requirement, let's go into the word require, right? And let's look at this really fast, right? Require, demand, right? Inquire, request, right? To ask, right? To inquire, right? To seek, right? To consult, right? So Lord, he's demanding, but I like this word demand. The Lord demands us to do something, right? And he's about to tell us what that is. All right, let's go back. It says, and now is what the Lord thy God demand of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, right? And to love him, right? Now the question is, do you ask yourself, am I meeting these tasks today? Am I walking in the ways of the Lord? Right? Am I walking in the ways of the Lord? All right, what's the ways of the Lord? Or you walking the ways of the Lord, or you walking in your ways, right? You don't want to walk in your ways, you want to walk in the ways of the Lord. It says, this Deuteronomy 5:33, right? It says, ye shall walk in all the ways which the Lord your God have commanded you, that ye may live. Right? So the ways of the Lord is the thing that he commanded of us. That's the commandments. That's his law, statutes, and judgments. That's the ways that we should walk in. Right? So if you're not walking in law, statutes, commandments, right, you kind of missing a mark on that task, on that requirement, on that job, right, on that responsibility, right? Your God have commanded you that you may live and that it may be well with you. Because by us walking in his ways, right, one, we can live, right? And another thing, it can be well with us, that ye may prolong your days in the land which ye shall possess, right? And land we trying to possess is the kingdom. So you want to get into the kingdom, you're going to have to be walking in the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, right? You can't be walking in the ways of yourself, right? Because hold on, let's go to what happens if you walk in your own ways. Let me see. Let me see. Bear with me, I'm looking for the precept. Let me see if I find this precept. What's the right on that? Let me put this right here. Bear with me. All right, let's go right here. All right, so it says, this Deuteronomy 5:32, right? Back with that. Okay. It says, ye shall observe to do therefore as the Lord your God have commanded you. Ye shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. So when you go to the right or to the left, that's you doing your own way. That's not the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because now you turn away from the path that he put you on. Lord already gave us guidelines, requirements, tasks, assignments to do these things. So when you're not doing these things, now you're starting to veer off to the right. Now you're starting to veer off to the left, right? Because you're not on that straight and narrow, right? Let's get that though. Let's go to Second Ezra chapter 7. You got some, King? Before I go to this precept.
First Kings chapter 2, and I think it's either start verse 2 and then read the 3. I think that's a good precept right there.
So Second Kings what now?
First Kings chapter 2 and start at verse 2.
It says, 1 Kings chapter 2 verse 3 says, and keep the charge of the Lord thy God to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes, in his commandments, in his judgments, in his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whatsoever thou turnest thyself.
So like the brother's bringing out, this how you know if you're walking in your ways or you walking in the ways of Yahushua. Because straight up the Bible says that you walk in his laws, his statutes, his commandments. If you're doing anything other that's not contrary to the Bible, you are doing your own ways.
Come, that's right. That's right. And we don't have room to be doing walking our own way. We don't have room for that. We don't have room for that. Let's go right here. Second Ezra chapter 7. Right? So it says, Second Ezra chapter 7 verse 6 says, there is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of good things. That city is the kingdom, right? It says it is full of good things. You know that the kingdom is full of good things. Riches, joy, no sadness, no tears, no crying, none of that. It's full of good things, right? It says the entrance thereof is narrow, but the entrance to the kingdom is a very narrow entrance, right? It's narrow. It's not this big, huge gate, right? It's not a big, huge way, right? It says, and it's set in a dangerous place to fall, right? So it's this way to the kingdom. It's a trickery road, right? So it's a road that it's dangerous, right? It's not one of them paths you kind of look down and like, yeah, I'm gonna want to go down that. Now it's a place that you gotta want to get it. You gotta want to get it because you understand that through me going through this dangerous place, right? Going through these trials, these tribulations, these afflictions, right, and enduring till I get on the cross, right? Keeping God's commandments till I make it across, right? I can get that kingdom, right? But it says, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left deep water. So this way to the kingdom, you don't really got no room to be swaying this way and that way. So in order not to sway, you got to be walking in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That way you don't sway too far to the right and land in that fire, or sway too far to the left and land in that deep water. Right? So we got to make sure that we're meeting this task, meeting this requirement of walking in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? And it says, and one only path between them both. Right? Even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. So it's everyone. It's like I can't tag this brother along and say, brother, we on this path. right? He gotta do his assignment too. I can tell him, like, hey, brother, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do this, you gotta do that. But if he choose not to complete his assignment, hey, then that's good. Then he ain't gonna make it through. Or if I choose not to complete my assignment, then I ain't gonna make it through. So we have to individually complete our assignments, right? Every last one of us, man, woman, child, we gotta complete our assignments, right? And our assignments is the Lord gave us, right? The responsibilities, which is keeping His laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments, right? That's what the Lord say do. He didn't give us this whole drawn out thing. When you think about the totality of it, it's not really that deep. All right. So it says, let's go back on the Deuteronomy though. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. Because that's it. That's all I wanted on that one. But we gotta think about the kingdom. We gotta think about the path of the kingdom like that. You know what I'm saying? That we trying to do in a straight and narrow path, and we can't go far left, can't go far right. It's a very small, narrow path, and we gotta be straight in line, right? So let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 10 and 12, right? It says to walk in all His ways and to love Him. Next task. Do you love the Lord? We ask people that on the highways and byways. Do you love Him? Right? Well, let's go to the classics, man. The classics. 1 John 5 and 3. Right? He says, for this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments. And His commandments are not grievous. So the love of God is keeping His commandments. Simple. Simple. When it said loving God, it didn't say, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that. It said keep the commandments. Simple. Let's get another one. Simple, very simple. 2 John 1 and 6. And this is the love that we walk in after His commandments. This is the commandment. That is, ye have heard from the beginning, ye shall walk in it. Right? That's what it comes down to. Us as Israelites, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, and we want to say, okay, we know the requirements, right? This is required. The Lord told us in Deuteronomy, this is required of you. Walk in my ways. Love me. Right? Keep the commandments. Right? It all reverts back to this. Right? Hold on, let me go to another precept. Right? It says, this is the book of Psalms. It says, pray for peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. It says, they shall prosper that love thee. Right? And what's one of the ways that we prosper? Or get access to prosper, something like that. Let's go to the book of Joshua. Classic. Right? This thing is a revolving door. It always comes down to this. But we got to sometimes step back and check ourselves. Are we really walking in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Are we really loving the Lord like we say we do? Are we really doing this? Sometimes you got to really step back and examine yourself. Right? Passover is coming up for those that haven't kept it yet, but Passover is coming up, right? And you need to be examining. So even if it's not Passover season, every day you should be asking yourself, am I walking on the path of the Most High, the ways of the Most High? Am I meeting the requirements that the Lord have given us through the law? Am I doing that? Right? You should ask yourself that. Let's go to matter of fact, go to the book of Joshua chapter 1, verse 7. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law. So we got to do according to all the law, not some of the law. Not just saying, okay, I got down the dietary laws down, but then when it comes to loving your brother, oh, you're not doing that. Or when it comes to taking care of the widow or the poor, oh, you're not doing that. Or keeping the Sabbath day holy, oh, you're not doing that. Right? It says, observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left. It's constantly letting us know, man, you gotta stay. This is your focal point. Right? A lot of us, our focal point is a whole bunch of other things. But if your life is not centered around the law, statutes, commandments, and judgment, that gives you room and opportunity to veer off to the right level because it's not your focal point. It's kind of like you aiming for something, right? But you aiming in all different directions instead of at the target that's right in front of you. You're never going to hit that target if you aiming this way, you aiming that way. You know what I'm saying? You aim behind you, right? You gotta stay focused on what's important, which is these law, statutes, commandments. Right? Turn not from it to the right hand and to the left, that thou mayest prosper. Prosper, right? It says, they that love thee shall prosper, right? Because they that love thee is gonna do what? Keep his commandments. That thou mayest prosper with it, wheresoever thou goest. So we got to make sure that we keeping these commandments, right? And then let's go back. Let's read on. It says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. So we got to meditate on law day and night. And by us constantly doing that, that makes our focal point that much focused. Because now you're not thinking about nothing else. Right now, you're not thinking about Keisha, you know what I'm saying, or little Ray Ray and Pookie, who ain't trying to do nothing but do wickedness, right? Because little Ray Ray and little Pookie, they worry about, man, I'm not ready to cop this G, man, you know what I'm saying, put some damn pork ribs on the grill and bust down, or whatever, right? Or Keisha, she talking about, I can't wait to go to my side nigga house and then go back to my main nigga and tell him to buy me a bag. It's madness. Because their focal point is not on the commandments. So they're gonna do things that's contrary to the Lord. But if your focal point is the commandments, what you gonna be doing? You're gonna be keeping the high holy days, you're gonna be keeping the Sabbath day holy, you're gonna be loving your brother as you should, you're gonna be keeping the dietary laws, right? Wearing your fringes, right? Because you want to look, show the Lord that you love him, you want to walk in his ways, and you meditate on it, right? That thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. Right now, of course, there are some commandments that you can't keep, but what's entitled for you to keep, you keep. For instance, the beard law that doesn't apply to a woman, or the laws when a woman is on a flower that doesn't apply to a man. You know what I'm saying? But whatever laws apply to you, to your sex, with your gender that you are, because it's only, you know, two genders, male and female, that's it. Then do what applies to you, right? And of course, you know, we don't do the sacrifice because we don't have the Levitical priesthood set up right now, right? So, but it's other things you can be doing, right? How you treat your brother, not putting usury upon your brother, right? And so forth, right? But it says, then shalt thou make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Yeah,
First Kings 18-21. When you was bringing out the left hand and the right hand, we don't want to be like this, man. So this is a fire account with Elijah, man. Yeah, verse 21.
Gone. In 1 Kings 18:21, and Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word.
Some people don't answer us a word because some people know that they're Israelites, but they just still don't want to do the commandments. Some people say that, I've been through this, so why aren't you keeping the Sabbath day holy? And then guess what? If they don't want to keep the Sabbath day holy, they don't want to love their brother. if they don't want to love their brother, then why do you walk around with a bald head and and no facial hair? You know what I'm saying? Why are you caught between two opinions?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, and Elijah kind of putting him on game. He said, well, if the Lord be God, then follow him. But if Baal be your God, then follow him. Because you can't serve two masters.
Right.
You cannot serve two masters. You can't sit and say, well, you know, I'm here because that's that lukewarm.
Yeah.
That lukewarm, you kind of caught in between. I'm kind of keeping the commandments. I'm not really keeping commandments. I kind of ain't, but I kind of am. But Lord said you can't keep two commandments. I mean, can't have two masters. Right? We're gonna go to the precept. Matthew 6:24. No man, Matthew 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. So you can't do both. You cannot do both. Make a choice. What you gonna do? You either in this truth or you not. You either gonna be the man of the Lord or you not. You either gonna be a woman of the Lord or you not. All this in between stuff, we gotta kill that. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even know when your last breath gonna be, and you around here trying to straddle the fence. Oh, I'm kind of in this thing. I'm kind of not. I like parts of law, but other parts I don't really agree with. Make a choice in this thing, man. Make a choice. So a lot of us playing ourselves, because you ain't playing your neighbor. You ain't playing whoever. You playing yourself. Because you ain't gonna do nothing but cause destruction to fall upon your own head. Playing around. All right, let's go to Revelation 3:15. It says, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot. Make a choice. You gonna be on fire or you gonna be cold? Which one you gonna do? So then, because thou art the one, you already know. You make that choice to be cold, you want to. You make that choice to serve by all you want to. Serve that money, serve this, whatever bull crap you want to do. You know what's gonna happen? Destruction, right? But it also pays. It's also destruction when it comes to lukewarmness. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So Lord, He's calling for service that's all the way in. You got to be all the way in with Him. You got to ask yourself, when it comes to this truth, am I really all the way in? Or I'm 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out? Are you really all the way in this truth? Or you halfway doing it? You got to make that choice. Am I meeting all the requirements? Or am I even striving to meet all the requirements? Because you got some people, they're striving to meet the requirements, but they might fall here. But they get back up and they get back focused and try to do it. But you got some people, they ain't even trying. They just out there. Right? So Lord say, hey, man, you gonna be lukewarm, man, I'm gonna spit you out of my mouth, man. And that spit you out, he could kick you out, that's true, or he literally can kill you. Either or, right? So let's go back. All right, so we're gonna make sure that we asking ourselves on a daily basis, am I doing what the Lord has required of me to do? All right? Am I meeting requirements? Am I fulfilling my assignment? The charge that was given to me. What am I doing? Let me got something. But let's go back. It says, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. So we got to serve the Lord with all our heart and with all our soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. Right? So it all revolves around keeping these commandments. Right? Let's go to a classic precept. Proverbs 7:2. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. So it says, keep my commandments and live. Because see, that's for your good, right? You can live keeping the commandments, you live spiritually, right? You can live physically, right? But not keeping the commandments, you're gonna be dead on both ends, spiritually and physically, right? And my law as the apple of thy eye. So you gotta really have that eye. That law as the apple. That mean like a jewel, a treasure, something that hold dear to you, right? Did not David say that he delighted in the law? He said he delighted, and and the Lord, David was a man after Most High's heart, right? Let's get precept. You see, let me get Salakia. Let me get it right quick. Right. It says it's a plethora of ones up in here. Man, so we just gonna read out a couple of them. This Psalms 119 and 16. I will delight myself in thy statutes. I will not forget thy word. So I'm going to delight myself in thy statutes. I will not forget thy word. Because you don't want to forget the words of the Most High God. Because you find yourself forgetting the words of the Most High, you start yourself forgetting the Most High. Right? And what happens when you forget the Most High? We're going to go back to the thing about the light, but I'm going to get this precept. But we got to go, what happens when you forget the Lord? One of my favorite precepts. Psalms 15:22. Now consider this, you that forget God, lest I tear you in pieces and there be none to deliver. Lord say, hey man, consider this, man. You that forget, if you forget the Lord, if you forget the Most High, he said, I will tear you into pieces. I will utterly destroy you. That's what the Lord say. I will utterly destroy you. When you tear something to pieces, it's gone. It's gone. It's wraps. It says none that can deliver out his hand. So nobody, once the Lord Most High get his hands on you, that's it, man.
First Maccabees.
Right.
With Matt on, let's see, First Maccabees chapter 2. First Maccabees chapter 2 and 27. You gotta be zealous for the law, man. Can't be like how people, how Jake he's zealous for that money. You know what I'm saying? How they glorify chasing money, how brothers chase money so bad, Jake in the world, you gotta be that for the Lord. Jake ain't playing when it comes to trying to run up a baby.
Oh, they ain't playing about that, man.
So why are we playing with the Lord?
All right. What you want to hear?
First Maccabees.
Oh, you said First Maccabees?
Yeah, First Maccabees chapter 2 and then 27.
Con.
Then I think the brother had preached, so he said Psalm 40 and maybe after that. Verse 27.
The book of Psalms. I mean, from my bad, you talking Psalms. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous for the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
So guess what? You gotta be zealous for the law. You can't be sitting up here, one day I'm in this truth, and then the next day, I can't do that no more. I can't do that no more. Guess what? You're not zealous. The Bible says you gotta be zealous.
That's right.
Or you're gonna be lukewarm. And
that's right.
What's gonna happen if you be lukewarm? Then the brother said Psalms 40 and 8.
I got it up there. We'll get Psalms chapter 40 verse 8. Let's get Psalms 40 and 8. Another good one. All these precepts, all these things are great precepts, man. Great, awesome. And it says, the Psalms 40 and 8. Salakia. Psalms 48. I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart. So you gotta have the law within your heart, within your mind. And that's when you meditate on that thing. You gotta be meditating on the law, man. You gotta be thinking about it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have like notes around your house, like precepts. You can write precepts and have them like around your house, posted around your house. You can have there's different things you could do, right? You can have precepts on your mirror, right? I knew one brother, he had precepts on the mirror of his bathroom, right? Just in case he got into a situation in the bathroom. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You got precepts on your refrigerator, man. Constantly looking at these things. Right? Let me get a precept on that. See if I can find. Listen, as a matter of fact, it's in Deuteronomy 11. Deuteronomy 11. This one of my. This is a good one too. All this stuff good, man. See if I can find it. Right, it's right here. This Deuteronomy 11 and 18. It says, "Therefore shall ye lay up these words, these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be frontlets between your eyes." That's how, bro. That's how legit this thing gotta be. You damn near closing your eyes and thinking about the commandments. You know what I'm saying? You blink. You know what I'm saying? Like just saying though, like put it into the figures of speech. Like, you know, you really gotta be meditating on these things where you constantly pop up in your mind on a regular basis, right? It says, "And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thine house." Right? This is the law. This literally says, "And ye shall teach them." You gotta be speaking to your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thine house. How many times you in the house chilling and you speaking of the law, speaking of the commandments? How many times? Hey, I'm checking myself. Like, hey man, how many times we doing this? Gotta be real. I'm talking to myself. Hey, how many times do you sit there and do that? And when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, how many times you lay down in your bed and you sitting there thinking about law, statute, commandments? You think about, I gotta fear the Most High God, love Him, serve Him all my heart. How many times do you do this? This is a law, right? And when thou rise up, how many times you get up in the morning, think, I gotta keep these commandments. I gotta have faith in Yahushua. I gotta be diligent. I gotta walk in integrity. How often do you do this? Right? "And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thine house and upon thy gates." Now, this is something serious. Now, this is something I brother, sister, ask yourself: do you have anywhere precepts posted around your house? You said upon thy doorpost. Is it on your doorpost at least? Right? Is it on your door? Do you have it on one wall? Right? Because the Lord wants you to constantly, he said, write them upon thy doorpost. Right? You can put them all over your house if you want to. But it's the fact that you're constantly seeing it. You're constantly thinking about it. Constantly meditating on it. Right? I remember this one place I stayed at, right? I used to have this like this little wall. Like I had a door. And on the door I had precepts on the door. Right? And then on the wall, on right next to it, had precepts on that wall. Right? And it was kind of like a little thing I had going on, trying to add to it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the kind of thing we should be doing though. You know, because we want to constantly be seeing these things, constantly meditating on the scriptures, man. Right? So Khan, we had brought out Joshua and they Khan.
That's real though. I remember Brother Fad, he was doing that, and then you know what I'm saying, he had like precepts on his wall, And then I got him to do it for me because it constantly reminds you, like when you lay down, and sometimes I just turn the TV on, man, because like I don't even want to watch stuff at night. You know what I'm saying? That's the best time to meditate. Because when you throughout this day, you're at work, you can get distracted at work. You can be in your day-to-day life and you get distracted. But when you get home and you meditate, guess what? There ain't nothing but you and your house shot. Because we know spiritually he's here with us. So if you look at that wall and be like, okay, that precept says Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Then it says Revelation 21 and 12. Now I know the kingdom is for us. But I ain't gonna get there if I'm not keeping his law, statutes, commandments.
Yeah, that's real. That's real, man. And so with that, man, we're gonna close out, man. It's a quick little lesson through the spirit. Matter of fact, we get a closing precept. So I usually bring out Psalms 50 and 22. So I'm gonna bring out something else. Something else. It's right here. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 21. It says, ye cannot drink of the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of devils. So I leave us with this. Ask yourself.
He said, Baruch 4 and 2.
If you ask yourself, if you what table you want to be a part of? The table of Yahweh Shemi outside or the table of Satan? Which one? Right? The table of everlasting life or the table of everlasting damnation? You gotta make a choice. But you can't sit at both tables. Right? And you said
Baruch 4 and 2. But you ain't lying for real, because I mean Satan, the world was given to the own hands of the wicked for a certain period of time. So do you want to live a life, a really short life, living in sin to get damnation, versus just humbling your spirit every day and just come to the outside?
Baruch 4 and 2?
Yeah, he said 4 and 2.
Baruch 4 and 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Right? So we got to make sure that we're constantly walking in the presence of the Lord, right? As in, just walking in the presence of the light thereof, right? So we got to be constantly walking in the light. That way we be illuminated, and we are commanded to be a light among the world, right? So I would definitely say constantly, but the only way that you can walk outside that light is if you're keeping the commandments. That's the only way. You can't just say you walk in the light and you got when you're not keeping the commandments, you're shrouded with darkness. Shrouded with darkness, so you're not being the light, you're not being illuminated at this time. But when you're keeping the commandments, you're being that light. When you walking around, you got no friends on, right? You're keeping a high hold and anything like that, you're being a light. Our people don't off rip wearing your fringes. Not saying that's just the only thing you be doing, but just off rip, you're showing yourself being holy, being separate just by that. Because you don't see people around here walking wearing fringes, right? Or ZZs. You don't see this, right? So we need to make sure they're walking in the light. Oh, you got a close piece up?
Oh, Revelation, I think 14 and 12.
Said 13, 12.
Shot 14.
Revelation 14, 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahweh Shai.
So that's what the Bible says. That's the last book of the Bible. The last book of the Bible says, here are they that keep the commandments and the faith. You can't have either one. You can't say I'm with Yahweh Shai and I'm not keeping the commandments. Or you can't say I got the commandments and I don't have the faith of Yahweh Shai. You gotta have both of them. It says, here's the patience of the saints. They that keep the commandments and the faith.
That's right. That's right, man. So with that, man, I want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh Shemi Yahushai, big brothers, sisters, mighty shalom. And then, and Lord willing, brothers, sisters, enjoy their Shabbat. And Shalom, Jabal Aliyah.
But you're right.
All right, closing out.